What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into another edition of the Phillies Post Series Pod with JJ. I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic day. Please make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and turn the notification bell icon too so that way you know when I upload. Lots of things to get into with this Phillies team, but before we even dive into this, I do want to actually apologize because I posted an announcement last night saying that we were going to be doing Sixers and Flyers content too today, but in all honesty, it's just too much to handle. And so what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna push everything off to Monday because the Phillies are off that day. And I really do want to talk about everything that's been going on with the Flyers and with the Sixers organization and that type of thing and how draft night went. And I want to devote just a separate day for that. So just bear with me. It's a lot to keep up with. I have a pretty busy weekend ahead of me. So we'll have to just devote a day just to talk about both of those things. But we can't miss these. We definitely can't miss our Phillies series, post-series pods, because this is what we do. And this is how it goes during the baseball season. So we'll have to wait on the Flyers and the Sixers talk just a little bit longer. And as much as I'd love to do it, I just can't. So I just had to be honest and straightforward with each and every one of you because you guys deserve to know the truth. All right? But with that being said, let's talk about the Phillies. Because, yes, they did sweep the Cubs. And that was really nice to see. It was for the first time since 2015 that they won and swept the Cubs in Wrigley. Or at Wrigley, I should say. But yes, that was great. There's a lot I want to get into. And I feel like starting off with the negatives is probably a good way to do it, okay? I have negatives and I have positives. First negative I have is Aaron Nola. And this just continues to be a problem where now it's actually at the point where I feel like he is now the fourth best starting pitcher on this team. And that's sad. It's really sad to say. Because as great as Taijuan Walker has been, as great as Ranger Suarez has been, you expected coming into the season that Aaron Nola was going to be that number two guy at the lowest. At the lowest. But now we see the whole two-strike thing happening again, where he will he'll have two strikes on a batter, and then he'll just let up. And then not only that, but he'll have a couple of innings where if he allows a base runner, it's just like he implodes. I don't know how to explain it. And it is really just frustrating for me to just talk about it. But it's the truth. And now we have to kind of accept, I feel like we're at this point where we just have to accept that Aaron Nola has just not been so consistent, and this is just who he is. That's just what it comes down to. I don't really know if he had a bad inning per se. I just know that when the Cubs got runners on the bases, whether it was from Phillies' defensive mistakes or whether it was just from a hard hit or a soft hit, whatever it was, he would literally just tense up. And the pitches that he would throw would be more up in the zone. And he wasn't getting the pitches in the right spots. I could see that from my very own two eyes. And it's at the point now where this is really problematic. And I don't know what that means for the future in regards to if you're going to extend his contract or not and that type of thing. But it's not a good sight. It really isn't. And this is the time now where you would have expected Aaron Nola to at least shown really good signs over these last three outings. And it just has not been so consistent at all whatsoever. He can do this. He can go out there and get you 7 strong innings and get 10 strikeouts. I do believe that it's all mental. I do believe. But no, I'm frustrated with it, and he has to be better. And that's the first thing that was really on my mind. And thank goodness that the Phillies gave him a lot of runs, because if that weren't the case, it just would have been really bad. But even just from the get-go this season, I was thinking to myself, all right, well, maybe it's because he put a lot of miles on the tires last year. He's trying to get used to the pitch clock. It's just the same thing over and over again. Zach Wheeler has gotten out of that funk, even though he hasn't really been the best version of himself overall. But lately he's been doing pretty well. Aaron Nola just has not been doing that. And I can't understand why. If somebody could explain it to me, I would love an explanation. I know he's better than this. You're just seeing that right now he's not. And he is right now, he's your fourth best starter on this team. And it's no discredit to Taijuan Walker. It's no discredit to Ranger Suarez because they've been great. And we'll talk about them too. That's on the good side of things. But you just expected Aaron Nola to be a lot more sharper than what he has shown you. And you have every right to be upset about that. No doubt about it. Another bad thing, right? Okay, so runners in scoring position, that still continues to be a problem with this team, right? They were 6 for 22 in this series with runners in scoring position. They were 2 for 6 the first night, 3 for 7 the second night, and last night they were 1 for 9, okay? I just feel like that this is another big, what's the word that I'm looking for? This is just also, I think that the team is showing you that this is also who they are too. I don't know if they necessarily need another bat. I would like another bat. Kyle Schwarber, should he just be the DH? Sure. And Harper goes over to first. Okay, I'm fine with that if everybody's okay with it. But then you need an outfielder. And who are you going to get as an outfielder? That I don't know. But this team does still continue to struggle with runners in scoring position. I saw a couple of times, even last night, and I know Kyle Hendricks is a good pitcher, but they left guys on base, and they should have even cashed in more runs. And I don't like it when you're leaving runners in scoring position, and when you continuously leave them on the bases, because against the really good teams, you're going to lose. That's why you lost to the Braves. That's why the Braves are better than you. And it's the truth. So, I'm not a big fan of that. The defense and just the fundamentals continue to be a problem too. Kyle Schwarber's dropping a fly ball. Marsh and Castellanos can't communicate. And Marsh drops a fly ball out in center field. People are trying to extend singles into doubles and making some bad base running mistakes. That's still happening. It is. Thank goodness yesterday that the Cubs could not take advantage of the defensive mistakes that this team was making out there. Because they had a lot of opportunities to do so. Against the really good teams, they're going to beat you. It's going to come back to bite you. And it's just the plain and simple truth. That's why those top tier teams like the Braves, right? Like the Tampa Bay Rays, the Dodgers, they're gonna find ways. Just because of that, I had something in my eye, a little itch. But anyhow, that just continues to be another problem, and I'm not happy about it. JT's offense has been really struggling. Bryce's power, it's gotten to the point now where you can just see that he most likely came back too early from the Tommy John. And I just want him to hit home runs, man. I want to see the power back. He did have a nice 2 RBI base hit in last night's game, and that really did matter. And I was happy that he was able to come through because that was really nice to see. But he has to, but the power's just not there. And when I look at 3 home runs and when I see a 270 batting average, I'm just like, really? Is this really the Bryce Harper that we all know? So those are all my negative things. But there's a lot of positives. All right, let's get to Ranger Suarez first of all. Ranger has been an ace for this team. I really do believe that he is now their best pitcher. And it's like, he's just like, give me the ball. Every time he goes out there, he doesn't look tired. He just looks like he wants it, and he throws the ball with ease. I don't know why my hair is a little itchy. Just bear with me for a second. That's better. Man, I don't know why I'm a little itchy. But anyhow, regardless, we're back. Okay. But Ranger's been really good. And I'm happy with how he's been throwing the baseball lately. You knew that he was going to struggle a little bit early on when he came back from the injury because that was his spring training. And now he's really finding a groove. And this is just something that the Phillies desperately needed. And I do feel like he's picking up the slack from Aaron Nola in a lot of ways. And that's nice to see. But then it makes you think, and I hate to go back to the negative, but can you imagine if Aaron Nola was pitching just as good as he was last season with the good Ranger Suarez like this? That to me describes the difference between you and the Braves right now. And Bryce Harper's bat too. It's the same thing. I think that that's what's separating us from the Braves. Call me crazy, but that's how I feel. But yeah, Suarez had another really strong outing, and I just want him to get the ball even more times, man. Brandon Marsh, those 2 home runs were great. I remember that Tom McCarthy even said on the cast when I was listening to it after we were done, doing the game. Marsh said that, McCarthy said that since the ball really wasn't carrying that much that night and the wind was blowing in, the first home run probably would have went even further than what it did. That's how far it would have gone. It was like 420 feet, and it probably would have went at least 450. Just saying. That was nice to see. At one point, Larry said to me that the Phillies were 6 for 16 with the bottom order of the lineup. 7 for when you look at the 7 through 9 hitters. Nice. That was really good. Edmundo Sosa, Nick Castellanos, and Josh Harrison solo home runs the night after that. That was great too. It seemed like during that night that whenever Noel was pitching, it would just be like the Cubs would try to get runners on base, and then maybe they would respond with a run. But every time the Cubs had an answer, the Phillies answered right back. And that was good. I liked Nick Castellanos' swing. He continues to be a really great player for this team this year. And it's just night and day with how much of a difference he's made from last year to this year. And it's awesome. And the Phillies have needed that for sure. Taijuan Walker, another pretty good outing. Pretty solid outing for him. Great. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned run. Awesome. I love the streak that he's going on too. And he had at one point last night, he had 3 strikeouts in a row. And he's not really like your prototypical strikeout pitcher, but he's in the groove. And the splitter's looking really good. The slider's looking really good. I like it when he goes to the fastball during certain sequences. There's a reason why he throws what he does. He throws everything with force and with a purpose. And sometimes I feel like some of the pitchers on this team don't. They don't have a purpose as to why they're throwing that pitch. And I like that from Taijuan. This bullpen allowed 0 earned runs during this series. We really have not been giving the bullpen as much credit as they should have, in my opinion. Because we talk about the starting pitchers, and over the last 22 games, they've been great. Okay, the ERA is like one of the best in Major League Baseball. But this overall bullpen, with the 5th starter in play, going to the bullpen and having those bullpen games, they've answered the bell. And I'm hoping that Sir Anthony Dominguez comes back soon, but Alvarado has been okay. Craig Kimbrell's been lights out. Marte comes in the other day, and even I know that he's struggling, and I don't really trust him in the 8th inning. But he pitched pretty good. Soto's pitching better. I like what I'm seeing from the pitching, from just the overall side of things. I'm disappointed in Aaron Nola, and there's no doubt about it. But just when you take a look at the overall picture of just the pitching staff as a whole, and the bullpen as a whole, I can't complain. I'm very proud of how they've been able to do, especially with a team that's supposed to have an identity of just giving you a lot of power and getting a lot of offense. And they really have not been able to do that throughout this season. They've done it in streaks and in stretches, but the pitching has been so good for this team. And that just cannot go unnoticed whatsoever. I'm proud of them for that. JT made a really nice play yesterday to get the second out. Okay, that play was huge, and how he showed off the athleticism, taking off the mask, going down the first base line, making the underhanded diving throw. That was beautiful. At the plate, though, I need him to get hits. I need him to produce better at-bats. He's chasing after pitches. In my opinion, he looks a little bit nervous at the plate. The timing seems to be a little bit off. And I know he'll fix it. But another guy that needs to be better. That's all I got to say. All right, I think we're going to open it up to you guys. All right? Let's open the conversation up to you guys. If you guys want to come on to the Discord server, please feel free to do so. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this team. Okay? I'd love to talk more with you guys about just where this team is right now. And does this sweep make you feel any different about this ball club? That's the question that I'd like to propose to you guys. It doesn't to me. I'm happy that they're taking care of business in front of them. But if you want to beat the great teams, you need more offense. It's just how it goes. All right? So we'll open it up to you guys. Please feel free to come onto the Discord server. The link is posted down below. And we'll read some messages too. We'll make sure that we do that. Oh, man, do we have a lot of messages? I guess we do. Lucky Play says, Cody can play outfielder. He played right field before. See, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Because Cody's not going to be playing every day. I want an everyday outfielder. Because Cody, you can see that he's being more of like a utility player over at first base. And so if we're gonna have first base be open to Bryce Harper, if that's what's gonna happen, okay. Third base, I'm okay with having that being like a utility spot for Edmundo Sosa and Alec Boehm and that type of thing, and utilizing the DH some of the time as that type of spot too. We need a consistent outfielder to play every single day. Is Christian Pache the guy? I don't know. But I believe that we have to try to, if we're going to get somebody, it has to be an everyday player. And it has to be an everyday outfielder. That's all we got to do. And that's how I feel. You know? That's exactly how I feel. I care more about the fifth starter, though. Wouldn't it be nice if Andrew Painter does come back in August and he does show you how great he can be? That's nice. It sounds cute in theory, but I want another starter. And it's going to be tough because you're going to have a lot of buyers at the trade deadline. The Reds, the Pirates, maybe even the Royals. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. The Rangers. You look at what the Phillies did last season, and I'm not telling you that this is the way to succeed, but they did get hot at the right time, and because they got in, you saw what happened from there. The Cinderella stories. The Oakland A's. The Kansas City Royals when they went on that World Series run. The Nationals. The Braves. All those teams. You see what they've been able to do. And these teams now believe it. That if they even just get in, they have a shot. I think that has skewed viewership in some ways, and that's a whole nother conversation. But my point being is that our team's really going to give up a starting pitcher, or as willing to give up a starting pitcher. And then what are you going to give up? Because I don't know if I want to give up our young guys, because I'll be honest, I love having Mick Abel. I love having prospects in our farm system. I don't want to give up those pieces, man. If we can find a way to try to get a fifth starter without having to give up a big prospect, maybe even if it's just one, I'd be fine with it. But then the expectation has to be, we're going back to the World Series. You got to take, or you got to give in order to take. But I don't know, man. That's how I feel. Sean Guzzi says, yes, we need someone with high runners in scoring position. I have a few ideas, though, if we don't trade for anybody. Let me make sure I read that full comment really quickly. I lost the page. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Where is it? First, I do think players like Harper, Turner, JT will all play much better after an all-star break. I do too. It's just so tough because if you, let's just say you go out there and you get Paul Goldschmidt, right? You're stuck. You're stuck now. Because Goldschmidt's going to play over at first base. We're not even talking about, who they're going to have to give up in order to trade for Goldschmidt, which is a whole nother thing. But now, you're financially tied to him. And when you put him at first base, what's going to happen to Bryce? Is Bryce really going to go back to the outfield? Is Schwarber going to still be in left field? Because that's going to continue to be a problem. You know? Something has to give in order for you to take. But you don't want to make yourself feel like you're stuck. And that's why I don't know if Goldschmidt is the right guy. I don't know if Arenado is the right guy. Offensively, are you going to even be better? I don't know. I seriously don't know. But yes, while you need somebody to hit with runners in scoring position, you also cannot have the sloppy play in the field. Their defense wasn't as bad as it has been this year. And last year's defense at times was really bad. This time, though, they're making even more mistakes. And it has to stop. Am I being too tough on this team? I ask this question like almost every time we come on here. I don't think so. I'm proud overall that they swept the Cubs. I just still have problems. From Nola, the runners in scoring position, that continues to be a problem. Bryce's power, and just the lack of the fundamentals. But I'm still proud with Suarez. Still proud with how Brandon Marsh has been doing. I don't think I even gave him enough praise. He's playing really well overall. Besides the error that happened yesterday. He's doing great. Can't complain about that trade. Dombrowski hit a home run with that. He did. All right. Well, I think we're running out of stuff to say. So that means we're going to close things out. All right. I want to thank you all so much for coming on here. I love you all so much. And I will definitely catch you all tonight. Again, apologize about not being able to do Sixers and Flyers podcast today. I just have so much I have to do, and I cannot put myself in a position to fail, and I can't put you guys in a bad position either. Seriously. All right, so we'll be on Monday. We'll talk about the Sixers, and we'll talk about the Flyers. All right, but we'll be back on tonight with another Phillies cast. I love you all so much, and I will catch you all on the next one.